London news. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'll keep this extremely brief. Personally, I've had a few medical issues. I've got to have a heart valve replacement done soon and gone through all the tests. And it's a long road, a lot of worries, but it looks like it can be done. So I'm still going. The common law court, we need financial. That's our background. The court in the background, you can see where the jury sit and some of the deputy sheriffs there in the background, and the common law court symbol. I'm out of pocket personally, nearly £1,000 at the moment for computer upgrades and stuff, and we're really in a bad way for money. But anyway, the most important thing is we're getting things done. I'm going to go to Bannerman in England. I'm going to show you a clip from London where thousands of people have come out in support of getting off their bum. And this explains who's running the country, not the politicians. They're just owned and controlled by the money people. They'll explain it better than I. I'd like to thank Bannerman again, Mark Bannerman. I spoke to him himself and Laura a few weeks ago for nearly 3 hours, and we put a little clip of it up. I might put a little quarter of it up there so you can see it. So I'll keep this short. Watch this video, share it, because this is what we need to do in Australia. We need to get this active service going, which they've got going there, and they can activate responses really good. I didn't put the links up because it'll just clog their system up. So we have our own here with the sheriffs, and we can obviously have a posse, etc., to help. Anyway, if I'm still alive, I'll keep making some videos. We've had someone hack into our system, and it cost a lot of money to fix it. But we've got new systems now and stuff. It's going to fix things up, but that's life. You make enemies when you're trying to help people, because there's all those keyboard warriors out there that don't like you. And if I can get my old valve replaced, I'll keep going. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Share this video and thank Mark Bannerman and the team in London. We need to get off our butts here because we're in the same boat. Both sides of politics are owned and controlled by the people with the moolah. Anyway, bye for now. Keep working, keep sharing, and thanks for watching. And thousands of people watch this sometimes, and only 2 or 3 people press that subscribe button. It's free. Please subscribe. It just shows that people really care. Bye.
I think they need some assistance.
London, June 1st, 2024. This journey to London was originally organised to record an independent speaker who was raising awareness about both illegal and unlawful house repossessions being executed nationwide with what appears more often than not with dodgy paperwork from British courts. The invite was to a Tommy Robinson event creating opportunities for independent people to use the platform and record any or all parts of the event. Time slots were offered to independent people highlighting concerns nationwide. One independent speaker accepted the offer, and I was invited to record this speaker's time slot while he was raising nationwide concerns at this event. Independent speakers were used to help fill in the time before Tommy Robinson accessed the stage to highlight both two-tier policing and present his new documentary, Lawfare. Independent citizen journalists were made to feel welcome by the event organisers and was allowed backstage access. Unfortunately, due to unforeseen circumstances, about 10 time slots had to be cancelled a few days before the event was about to take place. This was not a problem, and because the day had already been organised, some people still went to London to carry on raising the speaker's concerns within the crowd. What you will now see in this video is a mixture of interactions highlighting what happened in London on this first day of June 2024.
So we've got yourselves on there, we've got rapid response. This is the thing, everyone's coming to London and they're protesting. Protesting's not going to solve anything. Slaves protest. So what we need to do is start getting active, get onto rapid response, get in your area, and what you need to do is get involved. We're taking back people's properties, the banks are the cause of this. The government are just the puppets for the banks. So once we start taking the money off the banks and taking the properties back.
Regarding house repossessions, dodgy paperwork, and rapid response teams that are actually building around the country now. How's the response been so far?
Brilliant. No one's refused a flyer. Yeah, everyone knows who the Bannerman is anyway.
It won't be long for the march.
No, not long, no.
I'm going to leave you, I'm going to get to the front.
Yeah, sound. We're going to keep giving these out, yeah, but yeah, good result.
Why is the Met Police not actually policing this?
The Met I'm seconded to the Met.
Are you?
I'm on attachment to the Met.
What are you advising people today then, just briefly?
Sorry?
What are you advising people briefly?
I'm not, sir, I'm just a PC here policing peaceful protest.
So what we have here, we've got the Met Police and the City of London Police, is that correct?
Yes, yes.
I've never seen you actually working together. Is this today the first day where you both work together?
City and the Mets.
City and the Mets.
Oh, we always work together.
Do you?
Yeah, very regularly.
Pan-London operation called Bembo.
Yeah, well, I like your accent, so I'd like to talk to me a little bit. Is that all right?
I mean, I need to keep an eye on this.
Yeah, you're all right. You've got two eyes. Put one over there and one on me. Can I just ask you then, briefly, how do you think today's going to go?
I hope it goes really smoothly and really peacefully.
I've heard there's actually a protest further down the road. Are you going to keep them apart?
Yes, it's nothing to do with me that bit. There's a separate plan in place around that.
Well, I'm going to leave you to it.
Thank you for
Thank you
your time.
very much.
Thank you.
And
You are Chief Inspector, aren't you?
Yep.
Just wondering if you're an imposter with 3 pips.
No,
You're
no, I
not just
promise I'm not.
And your sergeant there, isn't it? And what side do you bat for? Now I'm going to say that the Chief Inspector is higher than you.
Not me?
Oh no, you're higher by an inch.
Oh, I see what you're doing. That was good.
What's your rank?
Superintendent.
So you're actually higher than him?
Just about.
Yeah, about an inch higher.
Exactly.
So how's your day going with the leaflets?
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, we're giving them out like hotcakes. Everyone's loving them.
Has anybody recognised you?
Yeah, a few people. Yeah.
Nice one. You're becoming famous.
Not that.
Just advise people about this, where they can find the response groups.
The response groups is on Telegram, different pages, but we want you to get to Rapid Response Chat, and then from there you can go to your local.
People can find their own groups.
Yeah.
I think it's Tommy Robinson. Oh right, that's what the cameras are for. Everybody's on Tommy Robinson at the moment. I thought there was a bit of a kerfuffle going on.
There's a tree there, guys.
Police, not the City of London.
Met Police.
What is the difference between Met and City of London?
Different forces, though.
Have you got the same powers? Have you got the same powers?
I believe so, sir.
Why do they wear red and white and you wear black and white? Why do they wear red
Sir,
and
I
white?
prefer not to
and
answer these questions.
you wear
please.
black and white.
No, it's different uniforms, sir.
I must say, you might be looking clean there.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to call you the lone policeman. The difference.
So we've come down here today because people need to realise that this walking around the streets is just not getting us anywhere. This is 4 years on now, so we just need everyone on the same page now. And I think we need to start tackling the bailiffs first. And once we've tackled that, we need to start dealing with the police, but obviously that's numbers. And protesting in the middle of London when they're all at home is just never going to get anywhere. As soon as people realise that, the better. Imagine all these people on the same page just going and taking over the court. You know what I mean? Starting in one area at a time. The bank's orchestrating this. The banks run this country. The politicians are puppets. The police are puppets, all for the banks. What we're actually doing at Rapid Response is we're hitting them in the pocket because they're paying to take these properties and we're just taking them straight back at no cost. So hopefully if we can get a rapid response in each area and then we can join all them areas together and we can just concentrate on one area at a time. Wherever we've got the evidence and we build that evidence in that area, get them banged to rights, and then we work up the chain so the bailiffs in. Once the bailiffs are in the court, and then the police have got to be accountable. Once the police are accountable, the judges who's signing these or who's not signing these warrants but attaching themselves to this fraudulent documentation in other ways. But we're not going to do that without numbers. And we've got the numbers, but trying to get everyone on the same fucking page is a job in itself. Where is everyone?
Bannerman's wandering about, he knows where we are.
Is he ahead of us or behind?
Behind us now.
The day they're absolutely dreading is the day every man and woman in this country gets on the same page. Once everyone's on the same page, fucking this shit show's done. And it's their worst nightmare.
I've got the bannerman on here. Anything you want to say, Kyle? Yes. Happy thank you for it.
How's the reception been to yourself today?
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Have you got enough film?
Yeah.
Have you got enough?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we were talking. Interviewed the copper. Silence his acquiescence. Didn't want to say shit. So, yeah. But no, good turnout. Just need them all on the same page.
Hello there, I like your moustache.
Thank you.
Do you wax it or smoke it?
No. This is unwaxed. This is natural.
If you put more effort into policing instead of your beard, we'd be all right in this country.
No beard.
Well, moustache, whatever.
Yeah. 268, you want it?
So as you're passing, a guesstimation, how many people do you think are on this march?
Oh, it's a lot, isn't it?
Quite a few thousand.
Yeah, I've counted about 7,000 so far.
Yeah. Well done.
They can be simply cancelled electronically. The people that govern us are traitors. We know that, but what causes them to betray their country and future generations? Governments of whatever party, when they're elected, are controlled by an elite of globalist monopolists. Supranational financial and international corporations, as exemplified by the World Economic Forum. I hear Klaus isn't well. I'm sure you send him your best wishes. Now, the globalist plans is to destroy democratic Western society and civilization, and to create a new feudal society where they are the aristocracy and the rest of us are the peasants and the serfs. Now, voting in this next general election is pointless. We know what we're going to get, a globalist government. But there is one thing that you can do to protest, which I can suggest, which is to write none of the above on the ballot paper. Now, as I said, whoever wins is going to be controlled by the globalists, on whom they depend for funding. If a government disobeys them, funding will be withdrawn. They hold governments hostage in a financial stranglehold. And you don't have to take my word for it, Liz Truss intimated just as much in an interview she did on trigonometry. Go and listen to it. Now, it's taken decades for the globalist plan to mature. The whole of the Western world now faces the same problem. But there are millions upon millions of ordinary, decent people across Europe and the English-speaking world who do not want to live in serfdom and who want their countries and freedoms back. And more are waking up.
He was talking about being cancelled and censorship. Some of the best work we've created with Urban Scoop. I'm grateful for everyone who supported our work. We produced a 5-part series called The Rape of Britain in the city of Telford. I don't know how many of you have watched that yet. If you haven't watched it, some of the survivors are here today, okay? If you haven't watched it, go onto our Rumble channel, look at our documentaries. We've done 5 episodes. We've got one more to do. The last one is looking at the council. There's an election in 4 weeks. My message to one of the people who is running for election, you're in episode 6, mate, okay? You're in episode 6. So, before you get all excited after probably winning the election for your seat, your name's going to be destroyed in the Rape of Britain, okay? If you haven't watched The Rape of Britain, we're going to play a quick trailer now that shows you some of the content we've produced. Thanks.
I'm Gerard Batten. I was a member of UKIP from 1992-93. I was the leader of UKIP until the European elections in 2019 when the electors of London retired me. I was coming here today to support Tommy Robinson because he's incredibly brave. He's stood up and he's spoken about the things that only he was prepared to talk about. He's been vindicated, and a lot of people who are now talking about those things on YouTube, GB News, were condemning him before when I supported him, because I supported him because he was a political prisoner. But they condemned him, and now they're talking about the same subjects, only because he's made it possible to talk about them.
How much corruption do you think lies in Westminster?
Well, it depends what you mean by corruption. There's always been corrupt politicians with their hand in the till. It happens everywhere, every country, every age. The real corruption in this place is that governments now don't work for the people. They work for this globalist, monopolist elite who basically hold governments hostage because they control the finances. And Liz Truss intimated this in an interview she did recently with Trigonometry, if you watch that on YouTube. And she was saying, you know, when she had these fairly modest economic policies and desire to control immigration, basically the Bank of England pulled a stunt, the price of the pound went down or whatever, and she was told if she didn't stop, then she wouldn't get any funding for government, and governments live on borrowed money. And this is the other catastrophe of modern age. Governments entirely live on borrowed money. So she had to stop, and she was one of the shortest prime ministers ever, wasn't she? 49 days or something?
Just to let the Telford know, we are coming back to Telford one more time.
I've had personal experience as a victim of crime, and I got no complaint against the court. But I think the trouble is, when you get to things like Tommy Robinson's trials, you can see that it's utterly manipulated and corrupt. You know, he got done for contempt of court, which it wasn't contempt of court. It went into prison for several weeks, was it 12 weeks or something? When it went to the Old Bailey, and I was in the Old Bailey, I was sitting there, we thought it would go on all day, the appeal. The judge came out and said, I've read the submissions, thank you very much to the barristers, I'm going to have to refer this back up to the Attorney General. 15 minutes. And what did the Attorney General do, who by the way was a Tory MP? He invented new charges. And then Tommy ended up in Belmarsh maximum security system. If that's not utterly corrupt, I don't know what is. I don't think there's any point in voting in this election. There's nobody to vote for. Reform is just another form of managed opposition. I think they've been strung along by Farage, who's now not going to run for them, but he's telling people to vote. No, they're not going to do very well. I don't think they were going to do very well anyway, because under our first past the post system, it's virtually impossible to make a mark. So they're under more of a disadvantage now because they haven't got their key player, have they?
Brilliant.
Sorry, I'll finish that. He's now going to go off and cover the Trump election and make more money. Hooray for Nigel.
Do you not like Nigel?
It's not so much personal dislike, because I can get on with anybody. It's what he did to UKIP and what he did to the cause of patriotism and independence, because he scuppered UKIP.
Next time bigger. People see now.
You managed to make it to the stage. Very briefly, what do you think of the turnout today?
I think it's brilliant.
Well, any messages for the people watching?
Yeah, what's your channel called?
Bannerman.
You says a journalist. Brilliant, man. It's what people need to support. Anyone like this doing citizen journalism. So, thank you. Yeah?
Can I grab an interview with you for AW Today with John? I'm doing
This headline in the British newspaper. Tommy Robinson linked to the British London. Look at that crowd. Women, holding the same bit for 6 Asian blacks, normal people, ex-servicemen. That media audience is what you're using. It's why citizen journalism, new start-ups are not controlled by the corporations who control the narrative are important. So, thank you.
That's okay, amazing. Can I? Oh yeah. Okay.
So what I have noticed, he doesn't manage to get 6 feet before somebody wants a photograph or an interview. So
I'm so sorry.
So there's quite a lot of independent media behind this stage. Basically, no mainstream media is allowed because mainstream media, well, what can I say? They don't really report the truth, do they? Independent journalism.
Anyway, right?
What do you want to say to the people watching? In fact, how are you today? Obviously, you.
Very good, very good. Those watching, get your ass down here. If you can, of course, you'll be sending support. This is a good rally, positive, about promoting our values.
You collapsed at one of the events recently, didn't you?
Yeah.
What was that down to?
It was fine. I was wearing a snap vest because it was really threatening with the Islamists. But it got hot and I went down like a loser.
What you have right in front of us here is a huddle of mainstream media, independent media journalism. What do you think of it? Are you not welcome inside?
What?
Are you not welcome inside?
Prefer you didn't film, mate.
Sorry?
Prefer you didn't film.
Oh, I'm just asking people, what do you think of the turnout today?
Well, it's big.
Big?
Yeah.
I like your camera.
Thank you.
How many inches is that?
Inches.
How big's yours? Have you got a stubby one? Oh, you got a long one. Anyway, I'll leave you to it, guys.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Look at the size of that one. Are you mainstream media? You just sell to mainstream media, do you?
No, independent.
Independent, but do you sell to mainstream media?
Would I sell?
Yeah.
Depends.
Depends how much they pay.
Depends on the story, I guess.
Yeah. Whereabouts are you reporting for then today?
Nowhere really.
Nowhere really?
Not yet.
Are you just here as a hobby?
Partially, yes.
Okay, there's a hobbyist there. That's a big camera for a hobby. Anyway, that's the mainstream media for you, who sell to mainstream media, but they're independent. Well, you know what I mean.